Welcome to Sports Class with Dr. K. It's fall and that can mean only one thing. Somebody's about to get injured in a post-game celebration. Actually, as you Yankees fans might remember, it's already happened in this Major League Baseball postseason. Yankees pitcher Aroldis Chapman got injured in the post-game celebration after the Yankees defeated the Minnesota Twins in the American League Division Series, getting hit in the hand with a champagne bottle. Thankfully, Chapman's injury wasn't serious, but many players in many different sports have not been so lucky, injuring themselves in all kinds of bizarre ways. So we're going to take this lesson to look at some of the bizarre injuries that athletes have encountered in the history of sports. Coaches often say injuries are a part of the game, but when athletes injure themselves in bizarre ways off the field, or in locker room celebrations, or even celebrating something on the field of play, we're not so sympathetic. So let's look at some of these bizarre injuries that players have incurred. On May 29, 2010, the Angels' Kendrys Morales hit a walk-off grand slam home run to win the game for his team. As players often do, he was celebrating on his way around the bases and leaped into the air as he approached home plate. In this case, though, Morales came crashing down and destroyed his ankle as he celebrated at home plate. This injury knocked Morales out of the game for almost 2 years. For sports fans of a certain generation, choking in the clutch is synonymous with Jean Van de Velde at the British Open. And getting injured in a stupid way in the game is synonymous with Gus Farhat, the quarterback of the Washington Redskins, who in 1997, after celebrating a 1-yard touchdown run, decided it was a good idea to crash his head into the wall in celebration. Farhat knocked himself out of the game with a sprained neck and a concussion, and in fact his career was never the same in the aftermath of that injury. In one of the most famous in-game celebration injuries of all time, Arizona Cardinals kicker Bill Gramatica tore his ACL celebrating making a rather routine 42-yard field goal in 2001 in the first quarter of a game against the Giants. Gramatica leaped into the air, but when he landed, he ended up tearing the ACL in his knee, knocking himself out for the rest of the season. In the 87th minute of a 2004 soccer match, Swiss football star Paulo Diogo climbed the fence to join the fans in celebration. Diogo didn't realize that his wedding ring got caught in the fence, and when he went to climb down, the ring tore part of his finger off. Making matters worse, in the aftermath, while trying to search for his missing finger, he was given a yellow card for excessive time. In 1990, Toronto Blue Jays outfielder Glen Hill suffered one of the most bizarre injuries in sports when he apparently was running in his sleep, fearing spiders in a nightmare. Glen Hill crashed into a glass table, injuring himself and spending 20 days on the disabled list. In the 1934 U.S. Open, Bobby Cruikshank appeared well on his way to winning the tournament, when, after making a remarkable shot on the 11th hole that bounced off of a rock and back onto the green, Cruikshank threw his club into the air in celebration. The club crashed down onto his head. Cruikshank couldn't recover from the injury and struggled home in 5 shots over par, finishing third in the tournament. While it's not really a laughing matter, Cleveland Browns player Orlando Brown's injury is one of the most bizarre in NFL history. Brown was flagged for a penalty by referee Jeff Triplett, who threw the flag too aggressively into Brown's face mask, where it hit Brown's eye, legally blinding him for what turned out to be 3 years. Eventually, Brown did return to the NFL, but he also sued the league and was awarded more than $15 million in damages. Detroit Tigers pitcher Joel Zumaya missed time in the 2006 playoffs with one of the strangest injuries in baseball history. Zumaya suffered from an inflamed wrist and missed most of the 2006 American League Championship Series. He did eventually return to play in the World Series, but the team later revealed he was suffering his injury from playing too much Guitar Hero. He returned for the World Series, but people remember him for this bizarre injury. Jacksonville Jaguars head coach Jack Del Rio was known for his crazy ways of motivating his players. At one point, he brought in a hatchet and a log and encouraged his players to keep chopping wood. Jaguars punter Chris Hansen took this a little too literally, and when he swung the axe, hit himself in the leg, opening a huge gash that required immediate surgery. Hansen was knocked out for the rest of that season, and while he eventually returned to have a very successful career, he's remembered for this bizarre injury. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have better luck than the players I've mentioned in this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. Yeah. That's enough!